I want to tell you about an animal who changed my life. A few years ago, I spent some time working inside of a Koch Foods chicken slaughterhouse. I met a lot of animals while working at these facilities, but I always tried to not make a connection with them because I knew their fate. The work I was doing wasn't to rescue these individuals, but to gather information and educate people with hopes to prevent future animals from being bred into a similar fate. The chickens that came through the slaughterhouse each night were still babies. They were genetically manipulated by the meat industry to grow to the size of a full-grown chicken in just 5 or 6 weeks. Many of them were still chirping when they were hung on the shackles. Despite having a breast that Koch Foods deemed big enough for human consumption, they hadn't developed the clucking sound heard from full-grown chickens. I'm sure many of you are well aware that chickens raised to be eaten aren't kept in cages at the farms. Unlike the completely separate breeds of chickens used for egg production, every single broiler chicken is raised in a filthy, crowded shed where several die every day from inability to reach food or water, being pecked or trampled by other chickens, or from diseases worsened by intense confinement. Don't be fooled. The absence of a cage does not equate to a better life for these birds. They're packed so tightly into these sheds that they often can't spread their wings or reach the food. On their last day at the farm, they are literally thrown into cages to be transported to the slaughterhouse. It's inevitable that more chickens will die during transport, so slaughterhouses are ready with a dumpster for what they call dead on arrivals, or DOAs. Every chicken who makes it to slaughter has already endured a life of hell before they are shackled, electrocuted, and hopefully killed, before being dunked in scalding hot water to remove their feathers and dismembered for the supermarket. At the plant, each employee in the live hang room is expected to hang between 25 and 30 chickens every single minute. One night, my coworkers and I had finished hanging a truckload of chickens, and we were rewarded with a brief respite before the next truck. This wasn't usually the case, and I found out later that it was due to the forklift operator encountering difficulties loading the next several hundred chickens onto the conveyor belt. Nevertheless, the unplanned break was welcomed, and several of the shacklers beside me abandoned their post to use the restroom or grab a drink during these 2 minutes. What happened next would have a lasting effect on me. Many of my coworkers were still absent when the first birds from the next truck started to arrive. I watched as the first chicken to reach the conveyor stood up, spread her wings, and ran. It was probably the first time in her short life that she had been able to do at least 2 of these things. She looked so happy as she ran toward me. She probably thought that she was going to be free. But then I reached out, grabbed her by the leg, and hung her upside down in the shackle. I think about her when people are eating animals around me. I know that somebody ate her too. Maybe they shared her body with their friends or their dog. Maybe they chewed on her wings while watching a movie or a game. Maybe they couldn't finish her and they threw pieces of her in the trash. She's just one of hundreds of thousands of chickens that I encountered during my 5 weeks working at Koch, but she has had a lasting effect on me. I will never stop speaking up for animals until nobody else is being bred, eaten, worn, experimented on, or used for entertainment. Thank you for listening to her story.